Do you ever feel like you're living several lives at once? One for work, one for social media, one that only exists inside your mind? You switch faces like changing masks, each designed to please, impress, or protect. Yet beneath it all, there's a quiet ache, a sense that none of them are truly you. Modern life has split us into fragments. We scroll endlessly, try to fill an inner void with validation and dopamine. We curate an identity, not realizing it's only a performance, a persona. We repress the parts of us that don't fit the algorithm and call that mental health. We run from our shadow, not knowing that it's the key to wholeness. Carl Jung warned that this fragmentation would come. He mapped the human psyche not as a simple mind, but as an inner universe, a dynamic system of forces, symbols, and instincts. He called this the map of the psyche, and if we can understand it, we can understand ourselves, and perhaps even heal the madness of modern life. So in this video, we'll explore Jung's map through the lens of today's world. Why the persona you show the world might be your prison. Why the shadow you fear may hold your power. How the anima and animus shape our love, creativity, and projection. How the self, the deepest center of your being, waits to be found beneath the noise. If you've ever felt lost in who you are, this is your map home. Stay till the end, because we'll not only trace Jung's ideas, but see how they reveal a way out of our identity crisis, a path toward wholeness in a divided world. In ancient theater, actors wore masks called personae. Jung borrowed the term to describe the social face we present to the world, the curated version of ourselves we use to survive society. In the digital age, our persona has multiplied. Our social media profiles, resumes, filters, and captions, each is a digital mask. We say, this is who I am, but what we really mean is, this is who I need to be seen as. The persona is necessary. It protects us. It helps us function in the collective, at work, online, among friends. But the danger comes when we become the mask, when we confuse performance for presence, validation for value, applause for identity. Jung warned that over-identifying with a persona leads to a sterile soul, a life lived for appearances. We start living as a role, the professional, the influencer, the good son, the enlightened one. But deep down, the true self withers in silence. Modern burnout isn't just physical, it's existential. It's the exhaustion of keeping up the mask, the endless self-branding, the constant performance of being okay. The first step on Jung's map is realizing that the persona is not the self, it's only the gate. Remove the mask, even for a moment, and you might feel naked, but you'll also start to feel real. Once the mask cracks, something stirs beneath, the shadow. It's everything we repress. Rage, envy, lust, selfishness, fear, weakness, guilt. But it's also our hidden vitality, creativity, and instinct for freedom. In the age of digital perfection, the shadow is public enemy number one. We hide our flaws, delete our mistakes, filter our imperfections. We curate goodness, while our darkness festers in private. This denial doesn't erase the shadow, it empowers it. When unacknowledged, the shadow projects outward. We demonize others for the very traits we secretly carry. We see arrogance and manipulation out there, not realizing they mirror our own unconscious tendencies. Online outrage culture is a theater of a shadow. Every viral controversy is a collective unconscious trying to purge its guilt through others. But Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Integration begins when we face the mirror. Without flinching, ask yourself, what parts of me do I refuse to see? When you acknowledge your darkness, you don't become evil, you become whole. Because only when you embrace your shadow can you channel its power consciously. The second step on Jung's map is shadow integration, transforming denial into awareness. It's not moral perfection, it's radical honesty. Within each of us exists a hidden polarity. For a man, the anima, the inner feminine soul. For a woman, the animus, the inner masculine spirit. These archetypes shape our emotional life, creativity, and relationships. They are the bridge between our conscious ego and the unconscious realm. When unconscious, they distort our love. We fall not in love with people, but with projections, our own inner ideal. We chase partners who embody what we disown within ourselves. The result? Cycles of obsession, disappointment, and blame. In modern terms, this explains the endless romantic disillusionment of our era. Dating apps turn intimacy into algorithms. We seek the perfect mirror instead of a real human. We're not meeting lovers. We're meeting our own unmet soul in disguise. But when the anima or animus is made conscious, love transforms. It becomes less about completion and more about connection. We stop using others to fill our inner void. We learn to hold both energies, strength and sensitivity, reason and feeling, doing and being. The third step on Jung's map is intermarriage, the reconciliation of opposites. When the masculine and feminine unite within, we no longer seek wholeness out there. We find it in here. Modern culture worships the ego. Be confident, build your brand, know your worth. But Jung saw the ego as only a small island floating on a vast ocean of the unconscious. It gives us a sense of I, yet it's not the totality of who we are. The ego believes it's the king, but it's more like a lighthouse. It sees only what the beam can reach. Beyond it lies the darkness of forgotten memories, instincts, and dreams. Our society trains us to inflate the ego, to control, achieve, dominate. But what happens when the world no longer responds? Anxiety, depression, loss of meaning, the collapse of the false center. Jung didn't call for ego death, but ego reorientation. The ego must learn to serve the self, not rule over it, to bow to something deeper, the inner source of wisdom and balance. In psychological terms, this means humility. In spiritual terms, it's surrender. In modern terms, it's the courage to say, I don't know who I am, but I'm willing to find out. The fourth step on Jung's map is a descent. When the ego admits its limits and begins a journey inward, beneath personal memory lies a deeper layer, the collective unconscious. It's the inherited memory of humanity itself. Dreams, myths, symbols, all emerge from this universal field. You felt it before. Déjà vu in a story you've never lived. A sense of recognition in an ancient myth. A dream that feels larger than your personal life. These are not random. They are echoes from the collective psyche. Jung said the human soul speaks in symbols, the language of the unconscious. In a hyper-rational age, we've lost the symbolic literacy. We explain everything, but understand nothing. We analyze our dreams with logic instead of reverence. Yet the collective unconscious keeps whispering through art, film, religion, and even memes. When we scroll endlessly through digital images, we are unconsciously seeking meaning, symbols to mirror our inner chaos. But until we learn to interpret them consciously, we remain trapped in collective patterns instead of creating new ones. The fifth step on Jung's map is awakening to the collective dimension, seeing yourself not as an isolated ego, but as a thread in the vast tapestry of humanity. At the heart of Jung's map lies the self, not the self of selfies and branding, but the archetype of totality. The self is the organizing principle of your psyche, the still point where all opposites unite. It's not something you become. It's what you already are beneath illusion. When the self awakens, life reorganizes. Coincidences, what Jung called synchronicities, begin to appear. You feel guided by an unseen intelligence. Your suffering begins to make sense, not as punishment, but as transformation. Modern life teaches fragmentation. Jung self-teaches integration. The goal is not perfection but wholeness, not being good, but being real. Individuation, the process of becoming whole, is not escape from life, but deeper participation in it. You stop imitating others and start embodying your destiny. You become a conscious participant in your own evolution. The final step on Jung's map is return, to live the outer life from the center of the inner self. In a world addicted to performance, that's the ultimate rebellion. So let's trace the map once more. The persona, the mask you wear. The shadow, the truth you hide. The anima/animus, the inner other you seek. The ego, the illusion of control. The collective unconscious, the ancient memory you share. And the self, the center that unites them all. Jung didn't want us to escape the world. He wanted us to live in it consciously, to bring awareness into the chaos of our own psyche, so that we stop projecting it onto others. Modern life will keep trying to fragment you. It will tell you to perform, to polish, to hide. But the journey of individuation is a refusal to live as a mask. It's the courage to face the darkness, integrate the opposites, and return to the world as a whole being. The map isn't outside you, it's within. Follow it, and you'll find what the modern world has made us forget. That peace isn't found in becoming someone else, but in remembering who you already are. If this journey spoke to you, if it helped you see your inner world more clearly, then subscribe to The Hidden Self. Here, we explore the shadows, the symbols, and psychology that modern life tries to silence. Because until we understand the map within us, we'll keep getting lost in the world outside.